In the year 2054, Earth wasn't the same. The iridescent streaks that tore through the sky a decade back were no longer a terrifying novelty. They were the harbingers of the Xylori. Insectile, relentless, with technology that made humanity's weapons seem like toys. It had started as a desperate battle for survival, but now a stalemate clung to the ravaged planet. In the chaos, though, something else had blossomed, a darkness. People changed. Not with the Xylori's alien metal and light, but something older, colder, eyes as black as pitch, inhuman strength, and a thirst that had nothing to do with the ever-dwindling water. The possessed, they were called. Fear of them sometimes outstripped even the fear of the alien invaders. The last bastions of humanity clung to major water sources. New Seattle, a glistening dome city on the ruins of the old, survived thanks to its desalination tech. The Oasis Collective, a network of desert dwellers, fiercely defended their ancient aquifers. Then there were the remnants, nomads, hardy scavengers, living day to day and refusing to take sides. Alexei belonged to the remnants. A scout, lean and quick, he'd seen too many comrades fall to Xylori laser blasts or get dragged screaming into the possessed shadows. Water meant life, but was this living? His patrol stumbled upon a scene that shattered the routine of fear. Xylori and possessed, fighting each other, not over territory, not over humans, but over a muddy puddle glistening in a crater. The sight was as horrifying as it was absurd. Were they so desperate now? Word of the skirmish spread like brush fire through the parched human networks. In New Seattle, Dr. Merely, worn too thin by sleepless nights in the desalination plant, saw a possibility. Cut analyzing the enemy's thirst reveal a weakness. Cade, far in the desert, was a warrior of the Oasis Collective, but also their lore keeper. He muttered ancient verses of forgotten spirits as he sharpened his spear. This felt like a prophecy twisted into nightmare. 3 armies, none righteous, fighting for the last drops of life. The war took on a new, frantic dimension. Alexei was tasked by the remnants to be an unwilling spy, mapping the movements of all sides where they clashed over meager water sources. Mira toiled in her lab, the seawater flowing through the desalination filters seeming a mockery of the true scale of the world's thirst. Cade led raids, seeking some deeper lore, a hint of how to fight not just monsters, but a thirst that consumed the planet itself. The answer, when it came, was like a punch to the gut. The Xylori, their bodies were desiccating, adapting poorly to Earth's lower water content. The possessed were drawn not by bloodlust, but an insatiable need to replenish their unnatural bodies. And humans were pushing the brink of dehydration that triggered wars and madness. They weren't 3 separate nations at all, just one species, all devolving into something monstrous out of desperation. The remnants became messengers, carrying Alexei's maps marked with dwindling water spots. Cade abandoned the old tales, spreading the brutal truth. No victory was possible, just collective extinction. Mira, exhausted, sent out the formulas behind the Dome City's desalination tech. If humanity survived, survival couldn't be hoarded. It didn't create peace, not immediately, but the pattern of war shifted. Fights over shrinking water holes became less about conquest, more about desperate survival. Then came the first truce, then shared knowledge, frantic attempts to scale up desalination, to dig deeper for the last aquifers. The Earth wouldn't heal, not fully. The scars of those years might never. But as Alexei, Mira, and Cade grew old, they saw a fragile thing blooming in the wasteland. Not peace, but a bone-deep understanding. There wasn't enough water to be enemies. Barely enough to simply be alive.